Hello children, in today's video we are going to discuss about the topic types of minerals. In the previous video we have discussed about the introduction of minerals and about the modes of occurrence of minerals, right? So today we are going to discuss about what are the types of minerals based on their properties. And everything we are going to discuss today is important for 1 and 3 mark questions, so listen carefully. This is the classification of minerals. Minerals, it is divided into three main types: metallic, non-metallic and energy minerals. If you get metal from the minerals, it is metallic, and non-metallic is opposite to it. Energy minerals will give you energy in the form of electricity or fuels. And metallic mineral, it is further divided into three types: ferrous, non-ferrous and precious. If the metallic mineral is having iron, then that is ferrous minerals. If the metallic mineral is not having iron, then that is non-ferrous. And if the metallic minerals are very precious and rare, that is precious minerals. So we can find the examples for each. And non-metallic minerals, there is no further classification, but few examples are mica and salt varieties. Energy minerals, already I told you it is giving fuel and electricity. So from what and all we are getting fuel and electricity? From coal, petrol and natural gas, right? So this is the classification of minerals. So why do we want to classify minerals first? Because only if you classify the minerals, you will understand the properties of minerals. Okay, metallic means we can get metal. Ferrous means it will have iron, like that. So when we know better about the minerals, we can use it in a better way. Without knowing the properties of minerals, we cannot use it efficiently. So only we are classifying the minerals. So minerals, it is of three main types: metallic, non-metallic and energy minerals. Metallic minerals, metals can be extracted. Non-metallic minerals is opposite to it. Energy minerals gives energy resources. And metallic minerals, if it is having iron, it is ferrous. If no iron, that is non-ferrous. If it is precious, then it is precious mineral. Okay, now today we are going to discuss about these examples. First, you have a clear picture about what we are going to study. Only then it will be easy to organize the concepts for remembering it. If you're simply going and reading all the properties, definitely it will be confusing. So, first understand what are the examples we are going to study in an organized way. Under ferrous minerals, we are going to discuss about two examples: iron ore, manganese. Under non-ferrous, we are going to discuss about copper and bauxite. Under non-metallic, we are going to discuss about mica and limestone. Limestone is also said to be rock minerals. Now, coming to the minerals in India. So in India, metallic minerals are produced, right? So metallic mineral is divided into ferrous and non-ferrous. So out of the metallic production, 3/4 of the production is of ferrous minerals, and just 1/4 of that production is non-ferrous minerals. Clear? So out of 4 parts, 3 parts are of ferrous minerals and just 1 part is of non-ferrous minerals. So it is evident that India is producing more ferrous minerals and very less non-ferrous minerals. And ferrous minerals, they are very important in metallurgical industries. The industries which are making metals and alloys, they will be mainly using ferrous minerals. And non-ferrous minerals, they are used in metallurgical, engineering and electrical field. Now let us enter into the ferrous minerals. So under ferrous minerals, we are going to discuss about two, right? Iron ore and manganese. So iron ore, it is said to be the basic mineral. As it is a basic mineral, it is a backbone of industrial development. So what is the backbone of India? Agriculture, right? Likewise, the backbone of industries are iron ore. Without iron ore, there is no industries. And in India, iron ore is produced in abundance. We are producing iron ore more and more. But also, it is rich in quality. We are not only producing more iron ore, but also we are producing very good quality iron ore. So these are the keywords. Iron ore is the basic mineral, it is the backbone, and it is abundant in India, and also it is of good quality. And iron ore is of two types. Actually, it is of four or more types, but we are going to discuss about two mainly: magnetite and hematite. Magnetite is the finest iron ore and it is having more iron content, that is 70% of iron content is there. And hematite, it is said to be industrial iron ore and it is having somewhat less iron quantity compared to magnetite. So iron ore content here is 50 to 60%. So here you want to mainly remember which is the finest iron ore and which is the industrial iron ore and what is the percentage of iron ore in each, because it is the 1 mark question. They will ask you name the finest iron ore. So it is magnetite and industrial iron ore is hematite. And the percentage of iron ore in magnetite is 70% and in hematite is 50 to 60%. So this is about iron ore. So iron ore, it is a basic mineral, it is a backbone of the industries and India is producing more iron and with good quality. And iron ore is of two types, one is magnetite and the one is hematite. Magnetite is the finest iron ore, hematite is the industrial iron ore. 70% of iron is in magnetite and 50 to 60% of iron is in hematite. So make a note of this slide. Now coming to manganese, we are going to discuss just about 3 points, mainly about the uses. Manganese, it is used for making steel and for making ferromanganese alloy. I think you will be knowing what is alloy, right? So combining two metals, they will make an alloy. And also used in making bleaching powder, insecticides and paints. You just think about these three examples, it is used for some prevention step, right? Paints are used to prevent corrosion, insecticides are used to prevent the crops from insect. So you can remember in that way. And for making steel, we are using manganese, right? Do you know for what? For hardening the steel. The steel should be hard for construction, right? So for hardening purpose, they will add manganese in the final process. And for making 1 ton of steel, we need to add 10 kg of manganese. Clear, children? So manganese, it is used for making steel, used for making ferromanganese alloy, and for making bleaching powder, insecticides and paints. For making 1 ton of steel, how much kgs of manganese should be used? 1 kg of manganese. Sorry, 10 kgs of manganese. And make a note of that. Now coming to non-ferrous minerals. So non-ferrous minerals, we are going to discuss about two, right? So one is about copper, another one is about aluminium. Copper, it is very simple. We already knew that India is deficient. India is having less number of non-ferrous minerals. So that is your first point here. India is critically deficient in reserves and production. What is reserves? The place where minerals are present, they are called as reserves. So in India, copper reserves is also very less and the production is also hence very less. And coming to the properties of copper, copper is malleable, ductile and good conductor of electricity. Malleable and ductile means what? It can be easily drawn into thin wire or sheet. So that is called as malleable and ductile. And good conductor of electricity means electricity can easily pass through copper. Because of this property, copper is used in electrical cables, electronics and chemical industries. Are you clear with this, children? So copper, you are just discussing about 3 points. One is India is deficient in it, and 2 is about its property, and 3 is about the uses. So make a note of it. Now coming to bauxite, second non-ferrous mineral. So listen carefully here. In the mode of occurrence, we discussed about the decomposition of surface rocks, right? So surface rocks, they will be decomposed and it will form bauxite, isn't it? So the surface rock is actually made up of aluminium silicate. Clear, children? So the surface rock made up of aluminium silicate, when they decompose, it will form bauxite deposit. Now you are seeing a bauxite deposit. Definitely it will be having aluminium content because it is formed from the aluminium silicate rock, right? So from the bauxite you can extract alumina and later you can convert it into aluminium. Clear? So The decomposition of rocks with aluminium silicate is forming bauxite deposits. If they ask you how the bauxite deposits are formed, you need to write by the decomposition of the rock which is made up of aluminium silicate. And from the bauxite, which is a clay-like substance, we can take alumina and later aluminium, because bauxite is already coming from aluminium silicate, so it is having aluminium content. Are you clear with this? And this aluminium is said to be very important. Do you know why? It is having the properties of iron along with other properties like lightness, good conductivity and malleability. Now you should have a doubt. This bauxite is non-ferrous, but iron is ferrous. But now, how you are saying it is having the properties of iron? That is what the special property of aluminium. It is having the properties which is similar to iron. How strong iron is, likewise aluminium is also very strong, and also it is very light, it is conducting in a very good way, and it is malleable. So only aluminium is said to be very important. Aluminium is important for industries and also for you, because this is a board repeated 1 mark question. This is about bauxite. So first, the rocks having aluminium silicate is decomposed. As it got decomposed, bauxite deposits are formed. From that bauxite, you can take alumina and later you can convert it into aluminium. And this aluminium is very important because it is combining the strength of iron with other properties like lightness, conductivity and malleability. Make a note of this slide. Now coming to the next topic, non-metallic minerals. Under this we are going to discuss about 2 examples. One is about mica, another one is about limestone. So mica, it is made up of series of plates or leaves. So these sheets will be, that is the leaves will be very thin. How thin means, if you just combine thousands of sheets together, it will be only of few centimeters. Now you just imagine a book having 1000 sheets. Even though a book is having 1000 sheets, you can easily carry it, right? Because it will be just a few centimeters. So here, the mica, even though if you combine thousands of mica sheets, it will form a layer just a few centimeters. So that much thin mica is. And mica is occurring in different types of colors: clear, black, red, yellow or brown and green. So how to remember this means, clear is like white, opposite to clear is black, and traffic colors red, yellow, green. When you combine red and yellow, what color you will get? Brown. So red, yellow or brown and green. Now coming to the properties. Mica is having very excellent dielectric strength. What is dielectric strength? If it is withholding high voltage without any breakdown, that is called as dielectric strength. So mica is having good dielectric strength. As it is having such a strength, it is having low power loss factor. Power loss means when you're watching television or if you just go and stand near the tube light, you will have some feeling of heat. So that is called as power loss. Electricity is just releasing heat, that is a wastage. So here mica is very strong, right? So here the power loss factor is less. That means it is protecting it in a very good way. That is called as insulating properties, protecting properties. And resistance to high voltage. Resistance means against high voltage. So it is preventing the high voltage, right? So that is why it is said to be resistance to high voltage. Clear? So these are the properties of mica. So it is withholding the high voltage. That is why it is said to be resistance to high voltage. And the power loss is also not there. That means it is protecting overall, insulating. Okay, so excellent dielectric strength, low power loss factor, insulating properties and resistance of high voltage. This is very important 3-mark question. If they ask you to write about the properties, write these 4 points. Because of these properties, mica cannot be avoided in the industries, particularly electric and electronic industries. They cannot avoid using mica. So mica is very indispensable part of these industries. So this is about mica. If they ask you to write about the characteristics of mica, you need to write about the colors, you need to write about the sheets and all, and also add about the properties. If they ask you to write about the properties in 3 mark, write one line about mica, that it is made up of sheet, and add the properties. So mica, it is made up of sheets which are very thin, and thousands of mica sheets together it will form a layer of just few centimeters. And coming to the colors, clear black, red, yellow or brown, and green. And properties, you know well, it is having 4 properties which are very important, so it is indispensable in industries. So make a note of this slide. Now last but not the least, limestone. So this is also said to be rock minerals. So limestone, it is found in association with, that is where and all calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate are there, you can get limestone. So limestone, it is found in association with calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate, or either one of them will be there. So either it will be with calcium carbonate, or it will be with magnesium carbonate, or it will be with both. And mostly the limestone is present in sedimentary rocks. You know what is sedimentary rocks, right? So there only you can find limestone. And what are the uses of limestone means? It is the basic raw material for cement industry. So how manganese is used for steel making, here the limestone is used for making cement. And this is very essential for smelting iron ore in the blast furnace. So limestone is also used for making iron ore process, that is smelting process. In smelting process, they will take a glass equipment and they will be burning it. Okay, for making a particular type of alloy, they will be making this process, and for that process they will be adding limestone. Blast furnace means a glass equipment. So limestone is a rock mineral. It is found in association with calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate, and mostly it will be found in sedimentary rocks. And uses, 2 uses. It is used in making cement, and it is used in smelting process in blast furnace for making iron ore. Are you clear with this, children? So take a note of this slide. So finally, this is what we have discussed. So write a note on this particular way so that you can take a recap by yourself. So metallic, we discussed about 2 things under each, 2 examples. Ferrous 2 example, non-ferrous 2 examples. And non-metallic also we discussed about 2 examples, mica and limestone. Energy minerals we are going to discuss in the next class. Now coming to the question session. So name the important mineral which is combining the strength of iron with other properties like lightness and good malleability. So just comment the answer in the comment box, and every day where the week gets over, the person who is giving the right answer often will be announced and appreciated. And this slide is for you to take notes. So copy this differentiation and this differentiation. So they are very important differences to be compared. Happy learning.